been back in the classroom for 4.
Awesome. And
Yeah.
Ben, you weren't surprised that Sarah was selected because you've seen her operate.
And I hired her. It was a no-brainer, so absolutely. It's back in September when she was nominated and had to fill out the form. Sarah was reluctant to fill out that form. And I told her a couple of things. I said, number one, someone went to great lengths to nominate you. And number two, this is an opportunity when you're up there, because I could see the day coming, when you're up there to be able to honor your fellow colleagues as well for all of their hard work. And she decided to fill out the form. So, yeah.
Well, over the years, we've seen Western schools produce a lot of the top teachers and teachers of the year. So you follow a long tradition of excellence.
Yes.
It's a pretty involved process that they use to select the top teachers.
It is.
You go through quite the grilling. Tell us a little bit about the process and how you've been involved in the process.
Well, and keep it real too. Keep it real. This is a good story because they do come in and they'll do an observation. So hopefully she tells you the real too.
So in September, I was notified that I was nominated. And then there's a pretty extensive questionnaire that you fill out. It takes, it probably took me like 5 or 6 hours, honestly, to complete it, with just a plethora of questions about my teaching and my personality and my background. And then from there, they have a committee and they pick the top 10 teachers. And then from there, they have teachers, past educators that are on a committee come in and observe you. And so Ben's referring to the fact that I made a mistake when I set up the observation. And on my calendar, I put the correct day of the week, but the wrong actual date. So my first observation was, I wasn't prepared at all for it. It was horrible. I guess it wasn't, but I was definitely not prepared. So I thought for sure after that one that there was no way that I would even be picked for the top 5. But I did that observation and then a second observation, and then they meet again as a committee and they pick the top person. And I was informed that I won.
I wouldn't be surprised if that worked in your favor because
I think it did, honestly.
People might over prepare and get too tense and psyched out about it.
I agree. Well, at the point she came in, I thought, well, here we go. It's this is what I have, so we're just gonna do it. And it worked out.
Ben, do you pop in and audit teachers in your school from time to time?
As often as I can. I just call them just kind of flybys or just kind of quick stops, especially with a camera or something like that. And the teachers also know when I come into the classroom, my biggest focus is on the kids. And so when I'm in there, I'm interacting with the kids, I'm snapping pictures, and so they see me a fair amount. Yep.
You mentioned the committee sends people into the classroom, and it's not just one committee. They actually have 2 separate evaluators, 2 separate groups of evaluators that go through the first process, and then a second group, entirely different people, evaluate all over again. So there's a lot of people involved in evaluating you and
definitely.
picking. And you've got other teachers that have been part of the process and that have been honored. In fact,
we do.
This year, let's see, we have teachers. We've got some other teachers from.
So Bart, the humble brag from me is this is my 12th year at Warner Elementary, and Sarah makes the 8th teacher in my 12 years that has received top teacher recognition.
Wow.
So to me, that's a really big deal. And we have throughout the building different plaques on outside classrooms. We also have we have a culture that people really cheer each other on. And so after Sarah received the Teacher of the Year honor, we had a great get together at Nights. Shout out to them for putting on a nice evening where several of her colleagues came out and really celebrated her as well, which is part of our culture.
Nice.
Yeah, that's great.
So the award also has a cash prize.
It does.
And you can use it any way you want. And I think past honorees, they just push it back into the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a plan yet for how you're going to spend the award?
I don't. I know of some things that I'd like to purchase for my classroom, but I'm waiting to decide. Honestly, it comes down to what I need and where I'm going to be next year. So now that I think I know where I'm going to be next year, I mean, as in what grade level I'll be teaching, then I can focus more on.
Which is a good point. So Sarah has, just in the last few years, has taught young fives, kindergarten, and second grade. And even prior to that, I know there was some more upper L experience as well. She is a person that I would unequivocally say has the flexibility to teach any grade level because of her ability to connect with her kids and also her staff members and parents.
Mm-hmm.
And this year, you're second grade teacher.
I am.
And we've got some photos from this year.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. These are current photos, or from this year. Yeah.
A number of people that were interviewed for the story talked about your empathy, the social interaction that you have with your students, and everybody used the word family.
Mm-hmm.
You consider these students your family.
I do, definitely. I do. And I appreciate the fact that my own family also considers them family. So my own kids and my husband, they come alongside me and visit. This past weekend we went to some soccer games and just spend some time with them outside of school as well and just really get to know their families and connect with them. So it's been great. I'm very lucky. My daughter's with me right now at school, so she is every day coming in to see my kids and give them hugs, so it's been very fun.
What grade is your daughter in?
She's in 4th grade.
Okay. Did you have her as a student?
No, I didn't. No, that wouldn't work very well.
So Ben, where is Sarah going to be next year?
She's second grade,
Second grade?
as long as she wants to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you know, last week, Western voters approved a new elementary school. So are you guys already wondering what's going to happen to all the staff and everybody at the 3 elementary schools?
Well, we also know it's a couple years down the road.
Right.
So the planning process really kicks into high gear. But we also know that we're still going to be at 118 star for the next handful of years as we continue to plan for it and prepare for it. And yeah, so I'm anticipating second grade as long as Sarah wants to be there.
Are the teachers and administrators, are you all excited about the change?
Yes,
very much so.
definitely. It's going to be great.
Pandemic
Yes.
changed teaching, and I think for really the community, we got a new appreciation of what teachers and educators have to do. And it became, you actually, in your story, talked about essentially turning this job into 2 jobs,
Oh,
right?
yes, it was.
So what
essentially.
happened? How did your job change with the pandemic and online learning?
Well, we were given, last year specifically, we had students that we had in person in our classroom, and then we had a handful of students that we were on our roster that we taught virtually. So we tried to fit that in throughout the day. We tried to do some Zooms throughout the day so they could be with us for some story time and different things. And then we met with them individually on some Zooms later in the day or on my planning time to teach them specific lessons.
You made a point of going to students' houses. Every student,
Yes.
multiple times.
Yes, it was great. It was fun.
Is that above and beyond, Ben?
100%. And this is what makes Sarah special. Not only going to families' homes, but the other part is Warner was a spot where families would come pick up lunches. And along with a handful of staff members, Sarah would be in that line passing out food to families that weren't just hers. Any family that goes to Western, any family that really is in the Western community, we were passing out food to, and Sarah was an active part of that. So yes, absolutely 100% above and beyond.
It must have been an eye-opener for you because you've got students in every type of living situation.
We do.
I guess, were you surprised that some of the challenges some of your students might have?
I think some of them, but I think overall we kind of have a pretty good picture of where kids are coming from, just because we really try to connect with our families. So obviously there were some things that I saw that I tried to empathize, but I was surprised by it. but it was nice to be able to see them and to be able to just give them, I don't know, it was fun for me too, because I was stuck at home as well. And it gave me an opportunity to get out of my house and to see my kids and their families. And so it was fun for all of us. We had a great time.
What did the kids think with the teacher showing up at the door? Was it like the cops are here?
No, I don't think so. I think most of them were excited.
They wanted to show off their rooms.
Yes, I was going to say, I had some kids, I had one I specifically remember wanted to have a Nerf gun battle with me. I saw their animals and their baby brothers and sisters and, all the fun things. So I think they were more excited. At that point, it had been so long since they had been around other people as well that I think we were all just really wanting that connection.
And did you meet some of the dogs that ate the kids' homework?
I did. I did.
Every teacher I know, there's someone in their life that has had an influence on them becoming a teacher.
Yes,
How about
sure.
for you?
Yes, I have. Growing up, I had a wonderful fourth grade teacher. I had a lot of great teachers. I had a wonderful fourth grade teacher that really taught me the sense of community and family. I specifically remember her going out of her way to make our classroom a family. And then I've also had a lot of teachers as I've stepped back into the classroom, as I transitioned from being a stay-at-home mom to a full-time educator again. I've had some wonderful people, especially within Warner, that have really helped me, guided me, and given me some great advice, and also allowed me to just learn from them. So overall, I've definitely been influenced by some amazing people.
So you weren't planning on becoming a teacher while you were in school?
No, I was
Oh,
planning on, yes, my whole life I definitely knew I wanted to be a teacher, for sure, yeah.
And where'd you go to college?
I went to Spring Arbor University.
There's, Spring Arbor, they're bragging about you. I was at an event last week, Evening at the Arbor, and they made a big deal about their...
There's a few people from Spring Arbor that were on the top 10 this year, so, and they're both great, the other two, so.
One of the things that Spring Arbor is doing, they're teaching teachers to be trauma-informed teachers, and I think that even started before the pandemic. But wow, what great timing, huh?
It is, for sure. It's definitely important. It's an important piece to definitely examine, especially if you're headed into the classroom for anyone that's going to be in education.
Your family, your parents also had some influence on you becoming a teacher.
They did. My mom was both of my parents were very involved with my education, and my mom actually growing up was part of the Board of Education for years, and she was definitely an advocate for schools and for teachers, and she was actually a dean at Spring Arbor, and she received her PhD in educational leadership, so she's always kind of been in that role in some way. And then my dad has just always been our biggest cheerleader, just kind of telling us, that he's behind us and supporting us. So I'm very lucky.
Ben, what does this do for the morale and the team spirit at Warner Elementary to have the Teacher of the Year?
Well, it is a family. You just said it best. And like I said earlier, when people come out and they want to celebrate Sarah, but also knowing Sarah is incredibly humble. And, it's just that attitude really embraces her with her colleagues and her peers, also her families as well. And that was the one piece, as you were talking about those home visits, it's impossible to really truly understand how much a parent then connects with their child's teacher when they see them going above and beyond like that. So all of that really makes Sarah who she is, but it's that humble approach that does help culture. It is a boost. It is and everybody sees Sarah in action every single day, and you see a big smile, and you see a person that just simply loves kids.
In the first week of the pandemic, your superintendent, Mike Smida, said, compassion over compliance. How did that filter down, and how did you receive that message?
I think as a teacher, it was almost a relief to hear that, because we didn't really know. We obviously had never been in a situation like that, so we had no idea what we were doing. Our first goal was just to make sure that our families knew that we cared about them and that we were there to support them. So the fact that he made that clear to us as teachers and to the community was definitely helpful.
I was in a first grade classroom this week, and I would have a tough time being a teacher because I was entertained watching these kids. It's just, they're funny.
They are.
It's a
very
laugh a
funny.
minute, isn't it?
They are. Yes, they definitely bring a smile to my face every day with the crazy things they say or the funny things, and they definitely keep you on your toes. It's not a boring job by any means.
No. It's a lot to corral, though, second graders.
It is, but it's fun.
So what's summer like? Do you just take a break and enjoy the time with family?
Yeah, I'm going to try to. That would be wonderful. I'm looking forward to time with my kids, and they're both involved in sports, so we'll be at baseball and softball fields a lot, and a few family vacations, and then gearing up for next year. So it's always fun to take that first month or so off, and then we get excited. It's fun to invite a new group in, so we're excited for the next year as well.
Been a drain on teachers, the pressure of not just the pandemic, but really everything that's happening, and school safety and the unrest and the war. Teachers get burned out, and some leave. That's happened over the last couple of years. How do you keep your teachers, your staff, pumped up and encouraged and coming back?
Well, for me, the approach is every single day, and trying to let people know that they're valued and they're appreciated. And I put myself in a spot where I feel as though I'm a servant leader, so I'm constantly checking in, and I'm not just checking in on the professional, but I'm also checking in on the person as well. And so we have a variety of things that happen throughout the year. It could be an illness in the family. It could be possibly a staff member has a loved one that is in a tough spot. And that's when we come together the most. That's when we truly are the family that we talk about all the time. I would just say my approach has always been, it's much more than just a profession. It's who you are, and I try to lean in as much as possible so that they know how much I care every single day.
Awesome. Well, you can read all about the Teacher of the Year, Sarah Anderson, in the current issue of Jackson Magazine, along with all the other top teachers of our community. Great to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
We appreciate it, Bart. And real quick shout out to Jackson Magazine as well. What they do for education in the Jackson community is fantastic, and I just know it is very uplifting for the education as a profession.
Great program, absolutely.
Definitely.
The Teacher of the Year, this year's top teacher, Sarah Anderson from Warner Elementary, and her principal, Ben Gilpin. Stay tuned. We're also honoring nursing home workers this month, and joining us next from Arbor Manor is Lindsay LeCaux, and she keeps everyone happy at Arbor Manor. We'll hear how next.